Good day, everyone. Welcome to Module 14A. And in this module, we'll be discussing about bed making. Before we dive into what the module is all about, I'd like us to just take a conceptual understanding of what bed making is. Of course, bed making definitely means how to make a bed. Everyone makes their bed, of course, and there's a saying that as you lay your bed, so you lie on it. Exactly. So there are procedures or there are ways when it comes to a professional setting or a health sector. There are specific ways or specific procedures as to how a proper or an ideal bed is being made. And that is what we'll be discussing about today in this module. So without wasting much time, we'll dive in quickly into the introduction. Bed should be made on a daily basis, usually in the morning after providing the morning care. Now, who are we talking about here? As home health aides or personal care aides, making beds for who? For our patients. So these beds should be made on daily basis, usually in the morning after providing our morning care, or having clean uh, dry sheets. It promotes what? Comfort. So, and also to prevent skin breakdown and helps to promote a sense of well-being for the patient. Home health aid or personal care aid should always ensure that the linens are wrinkle-free and as this helps to prevent skin breakdown and pressure sore formation. When beds are wrinkled, those wrinkles mount pressures on the skin, and as this continues, what we call pressure ulcer, I think we've been able to understand what pressure ulcer, pressure sore, what it is in our previous modules. So making sure that your bed linens are smooth, it prevents pressure sore formation, and these linens should be changed when they are wet or when they are soiled, or maybe anytime the patient requests. So the care plan will direct a home health aide or a personal care aide on how often the linens should be changed. So for patients who are bedridden, a home health aide or personal care aide will have to make the bed or change the linens while the patient is in bed. Now, this is called making an occupied bed. So instructions will be provided on how to do this in this section. Then while making an occupied bed, patients are turned to the opposite side. The home health aide or personal care aide is working. Now, there are many kinds of bed making in health sector. We have the occupied bed, we have the unoccupied bed, we have the amputated bed, we have post-operative bed, we have emergency bed, and what a few. But as home health aides or personal care aides, patients are mostly bedridden or that either they are either bedridden or not. So we are focusing our goal on making an unoccupied bed. That means the patient is not on bed at the moment. So you are making the bed in a freehand making. Or the patient is on bed and they are bedridden, they cannot be transferred to a chair. So they have to the bed has to be made while they are on the bed. Sounds impossible, but after the end of this procedure, we'll get to understand the basic principles and how simple it can be to make both occupied bed and unoccupied bed. So procedure for making an unoccupied bed. Now, procedure for making an unoccupied bed. So the first thing is we explain the patient that we are going to make their bed. So the patient is no longer on bed at this time. You wash your hands, you wear your gloves when you are working with soiled linens. Then you assemble your supplies and your equipment, like your clean linens and your pillows. Then you assemble the supplies in the order that they will be used. Bottom sheet, bed pad, top or flat sheet, the blanket, the bedspread, the pillowcases, and the like. Arrange them in order of their usage. Then you carry the linens away from your body to prevent bacteria from your clothes getting on the clean linens. So after you've arranged, now we are arranging from where? The last thing that should be up is the pillowcase, then the bedspread, then the blanket. So you arrange it from, you put the bottom sheet on that, like on the bed, on the ground, on whatever surface you are placing the stuff on. Then your bed pad on top, your top sheet or your flat sheet, your blanket, your bed and your pillow. So your pillow now is on top. But if you are arranging, you can't, the first will become the last. So you now turn everything upside down, making the pillowcase the last underground, the last there. So that when you start taking they get assembled properly. Then raise the bed to a waist level. Remember proper body mechanics. Never lean over the bed. Walk on one side of the bed at a time. Then you move to the other side of the bed as needed. Then you can lower the bed rails on the side you are walking. Then remove and fold any bedding to be reused, such as maybe blankets and the comforters or the quilts. You can place them on a clean surface since they may be reused. Then remove the soiled linens and place in the appropriate replaceable, the appropriate receptacle, like maybe the hamper. Then you roll those soiled linens away from you, inside out. You do not shake linens as this will release microorganisms into the air. So you don't dust or shake. Discard the appropriate discard the linens in the appropriate container. When you are done, you discard your gloves, you wash your hands, you smoothen the mattress pad. If you are using a pad, then you remove wrinkles. Then you place the bottom or the fitted sheet in the middle of the bed lengthwise. Then the fold or crease should be in the center of the bed. Now remember that we've removed the dirty linen. Now we are placing what a smooth a new linen. Then you unfold the sheet on the side you are working, and you put it lengthwise on the middle of the bed. So you roll to the side you are working, you tuck into the corners under the mattress, then fan fold the other half of the sheet and leave in the center of the bed. Then you place the bed pad in the center of the bed. Now we are done with the bottom sheet. Now the bed pad and the bed pad and place in center of the bed again. Open it on the side you are working, fan fold it to the other side of the bed as well. Then you can place the top sheet in the center of the bed lengthwise as well. Open to your side, fan fold to the other side of the bed. Then you can now go to the opposite side of the bed. After you are done with one side, to avoid you moving, if you imagine you place the bottom sheet first, place the bottom sheet, you tuck in here, you go to the other side. So, although alternatively you can have it's a two-person's procedure. When you are two, it makes the work simpler. But when you are one, you can't keep moving, tucking the bed linen from this side and go to the other side and tucking, then come back here, and that's going to be a lot of work on you. So when you are done with this side, you fan folded everything to that side of the bed. So you now go to the other side, opposite of the bed. Then you repeat those steps the way you did it. You tuck in the bottom sheet, the bed pad, and then the top sheet. So fit into the what? Under the edges of the bed. So then you add your blanket and the bedspread as well. So there's something called the meter commas of the bedding. So some meter commas grasp the edge of the bedding about 8 inches away from the end of the bed, bring it up to the top of the bed, fold it taut and about 45-degree angle. Then you look at the triangle shape. They call it, sometimes people call it envelope corner. So it's more practical when you see it or watch how it's being done. Theoretically, you can only picture it in your mind, but I don't think it's going to give you a very, very clear picture. But then you grasp the edge of the bedding about 18 inches away from the end of the bed. You bring it up to the top of the bed. Then you fold it tight so that it's about 45-degree angle so that it looks like a triangle shape. Then you tuck the loose sheets hanging below the under of the mattress. Then you pick that angular part shape and you place it over the side of the mattress as well. Then you tuck it under to bring the top sheets and blanket down over the bedspread. So turning a curve, smooth, then forming a curve. So you smooth out any wrinkles, remove the soiled pillowcase by turning it down and placing it inside out. Then how do you put a pillowcase on? Putting a pillowcase on a pillow, grasp the pillow in one hand and fold it in half so that it makes a V shape. Grab the pillow in one hand and fold it in half so that you can make what? A V shape. So guide the pillow into the open end of the pillowcase, which is in your other hand. Smooth out the pillow inside the case. Then number 2, you grab the end of the pillowcase at the center of the bottom seams with your other hand. Then you gather up the pillowcase so that it's covering your hand. Then you grab the pillow with the hand that is covered by the pillowcase. Then you pull the pillowcase down and over the pillow. Practically, it sounds complex. Sorry, theoretically, it sounds complex, but this is as simple. When you hold the pillow, it's just more like most times it's best when you are two performing the procedure. But when you're the only one, you can follow this method keenly. But when you are two, it just simply put that one person should hold the end of the pillow at the bottom, while the other holds the linen. So one is putting the linen and the other is dragging. And with that, the pillowcase is one on the pillow. And after you are done with this, you lower the bed to the lowest height. Then you raise your bed rails, remove and dispose of your gloves, wash your hands, dry your hands, document the completion of the task. Now we'll be looking at the procedure for making an occupied bed. An occupied bed means that the patient is bedridden or cannot, for one reason or the other, leave the bed at that time. So we have to make the bed while the patient is on bed. So how is this done? The first thing we look at is to bottom or the fitted sheet, the bed pad, the top sheets, the blanket, the bedspread, and pillowcase. You carry them and you also turn them upside down and place on a clean surface which will be within your reach. Then you raise the bed to the waist level. Remember good body mechanics, never lean over the bed. These are things you know. So work on either on one side of the bed at a time, then you move to the other side of the bed as needed. Then you lower the bed rails on the side that you are working. Remember to remove any fold, remove and fold any bedding to be reused, such as maybe the blankets and the comforters or quilts. Place them on a clean surface and do not shake linens as this can release microorganisms into the air. And you loosen bedding on the side you are working, loosen top sheets at foot and bottom or the flat sheet at foot and the top of the bed. You leave the top sheet or a base blanket on the patient for warmth and privacy. You don't just expose your patient. Then you leave the pillow under the patient's head for comfort. You turn the patient to the opposite side from which you are working, position for safety and comfort. Now you roll the soiled bottom sheet on and the bed pad towards the patient. The soiled sheet and the mattress pad should be rolled inward so the soiled part is not touching the patient. Then you gently tuck the soiled sheet under the patient. Position the clean bottom of fitted sheet lengthwise along the length of the patient. You tuck the clean bottom sheet next to and under the soiled sheet underneath the patient. Be sure that the clean sheet is underneath the soiled sheet. But this will ensure that the new sheet stays clean and that it will be easy to move to the other side after you turn the patient onto the opposite side. Then tuck the bottom sheet in at head and foot under the mattress, smooth out any wrinkles. Then you open one half of the bed pad on your side and fold fold this hold on to the style. Fold the remaining half. Tuck this under the patient over the clean sheet but under the soiled sheet. Then you turn the patient to the clean side of the bed. Let them know that they will feel a bump as they roll over the linens underneath them. Then you position the patient for safety and comfort. So if the bed has rails, you can ensure that the bed rails are positioned up before you move to the opposite side of the bed. Then when you're done with this side, go to the other side and using the sheets from head and foot, roll the side bottom sheet and bed pad into a ball so that the soil part of the linen is inside. Roll this in and away from clean areas. Then you place the soil linens in the appropriate receptacles. Then you can remove your gloves and wash your hand when you are done with removing the soil linen. And if you move away from the bed, ensure that the bed rails are up. So you put on the new gloves if needed. But then your hands are clean. You roll the clean bottom sheet and bed pad out under the patient, tuck it into corners and smoothing out the wrinkles. Then you can now reposition your patient back to the center of the bed. Remove the soiled top sheets and replace with the clean top sheets. Replace blankets and top beddings over the patient. You can bring the top sheets and blanket down over the top bedding to form a cuff. Remove soiled pillowcases and replace with clean of the bed. Make a toe plate by lifting all linens with pinched fingers. This allows the patient to have room to move their feet and prevents deformities of the feet from pressure made by tight linens. Then you can now position the patient for comfort. Lower the bed to its lowest setting. Ensure the bed rails are up. Remove gloves, wash your hands, dry your hands. Observe and record and report any changes in conditions or behavior of the patient. So in one word, in a brief explanation again, when making an occupied bed, you turn your patient to the side, remove the bed, you fold all the soil beddings in one after the other in half. Then you place the bedding, the clean sheet also in half. Then you turn the clean to the other side, remove the dirty linen completely. Then you unfold the clean linens to the other side of the bed. Then you move there and tuck it in, smoothing the wrinkles, and that is all. Thank you for your time. And we've come to the end of this module. And in this module, we talked about two major types of bed making: the occupied bed making and the unoccupied bed making. Then we also talked about the reasons for why we make bed. Beds are made for comfort and also especially for comfort anyway, to give people comfortability and to promote rest and sleep. So the bed is not properly made well. Rest and good rest and good sleep is not guaranteed. So in this picture, we see that bed making is most likely a two-person's procedure. But in a case where only one person is available, this is still possible. So I'm also talking about making an occupied bed. An occupied bed where your patient is laying on bed at the time you are making the bed. Thank you for your time and your listening. Have a wonderful day.